we can look at.
We're starting out hot.
Here we go. I love this.
Didn't expect a war like this to happen in, let's say, certain neighborhoods.
This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not people trying to get away from areas in North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
What could be a difference here from other conflicts, that could seem very far away, in Africa or Middle East or whatever. I mean, these are Europeans that we're seeing being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
Wow. That was you choosing the word carefully.
Imagine if you didn't choose them carefully.
What were you going to say if you weren't choosing your words carefully? I just hope the next time this happens, it happens back in the Middle East where it belongs. Here's the thing, people. Here's the thing. Beyond the racism, right? Like, let's forget the racism. Oh, how I wish I could forget about the racism. You do realize that until very recently, fighting crazy wars was Europe's thing. That was Europe's entire thing. That's all of European history. They even had something called the 100 Years' War. You understand how long that is? That's like a decade. They got a Nobel Prize because they stopped fighting. Imagine that. How people are going to be like, oh, to see this in Europe, to see this. Like, I'll tell you now, I don't know about you, but I was shocked to see how many reporters around the world, by the way, seem to think that it's more of a tragedy when white people have to flee their countries. Because I guess what? The darkies were built for it? I mean, you see how they run in the Olympics, Peter. Clearly, God has given them this talent for a reason. I totally agree. I mean, even if this wasn't a war, these people would probably be fleeing their homes for fun. It's just who they are. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, what you guys think?
Yo, I was dying because when I saw this video on Twitter and I was reading the comments, and some dude was like, "Man, I was with you until you said 100 years worth like a decade. I mean, it's 100 years, not a decade. I mean, come on, guy." I was like, "Really?
That's what they got from that."
Yeah, really. And it's like, yo, the joke were like over his head.
Like, it's like a decade equals 10 years, actually. Like one of those. Like,
yeah.
Just had no clue what the hell was going on when he was watching that video. I thought that was great when you commented on that too.
Man, I was dying. I was dying.
This is there's a Chris Rock used to have a special where he talked about racism, and he had a bit where he'd be like, that train's never late. Well, this train is not late. In the middle of a conflict, we find it rears its ugly head. From people being denied access to Poland, to getting on the train, to prioritizing, Ukrainian citizens. You checking for tickets, my dude? They're dropping bombs. What's going on here?
Exactly.
To me, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's in the racism. It's everywhere, and they don't want it. And then they don't even know how to say it, so they just go ahead and admit to it. Yeah, these civilized European. I mean, really, bro? Really? That's pretty bad.
Part out loud.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the one way. Even when I gotta use my word carefully.
Because, it's too late. I mean, I gotta use my words carefully, and let me go ahead and screw that up. You had one job, bro.
Oh my goodness. So last Tuesday, actually, we had the show last Monday, and then the Tuesday was an election day. So let's give us a little flashback on how things went.